December 1943. A tiny Italian town, barely 450 meters across. And for 8 straight days, it became one of the fiercest urban battles of the Italian campaign. Reporters had a name for it. They called it Little Stalingrad. This is the story of the Battle of Ortona, the town Canadian commanders thought could be captured quickly. Ortona looked like a trap because it was one. Cliffs on one side, a deep ravine on the other. Only one way in, straight through the front door. And waiting inside were elements of Germany's 1st Parachute Division, elite, battle-hardened paratroopers who had turned every house, cellar, and rooftop into a fortress. When the Canadian assault began on December 20th, 1943, they didn't know they were walking into 8 days of hell. The Germans didn't just defend Ortona, they engineered it into a killing machine. Engineers demolished entire buildings, not randomly, but deliberately, to create massive rubble barricades in the streets. Machine guns and anti-tank weapons were hidden inside the wreckage, aimed at anyone who stepped into the open. And then it got worse. Doors were booby-trapped, staircases were booby-trapped, even abandoned wine bottles could be booby-trapped. Walking into a room in Ortona could be the last thing you ever did. So the Canadians stopped walking through doors. Crossing an open street meant near certain death. So soldiers started blasting holes straight through the walls of connected buildings, moving from house to house without ever stepping outside. They called it mouse-holing. Blow a hole, throw a grenade through it, storm the gap, repeat. They even discovered that the PIAT, a weapon built to destroy tanks, was devastating at blasting through solid stone walls. A tank killer turned into a building breaker. This was urban warfare adapted under fire, block by bloody block. One square became infamous. A dead horse lay in the middle of it for days while the battle raged on around it. Soldiers just called it Dead Horse Square. On Christmas Day, while fighting continued outside, the Seaforth Highlanders sat down in shifts inside a shattered church, just blocks from the front line. Roast pork, potatoes, beer and wine. An organist played Silent Night. Then they picked their rifles back up and walked back into the fight. The fighting inside Ortona cost the Canadians 275 casualties, including 104 killed. Canadians found approximately 100 unburied German bodies in the streets and buildings, although total German losses remain unknown. And then almost quietly, it was over. On the night of December 27, the surviving German paratroopers slipped out of Ortona under cover of darkness. When Canadian troops advanced on the 28th, the enemy was simply gone. No surrender, no final stand. Just an empty, ruined town and a battlefield they'd fought street by street, wall by wall, room by room. Ortona wasn't the biggest battle of World War II. It wasn't the most famous, but in 8 days of street-by-street fighting, Canadian soldiers proved they could defeat one of Germany's most experienced formations. Ortona remains proof that some of history's hardest-fought victories were won in places the world almost forgot.